post. It's Tatum for the lead. No! Knocked away. Kuminga with the steal and the two. Here comes Brown. Takes it. 10-second difference, game clock, shot clock. Curry spinning, corkscrew move, inside, no! Paul gathers it in, clock at 3, Curry 3!
Oh, there's the meme!
What a shot!
The GOAT doing the GOAT stuff, man. That was the best win of the goddamn season, and it came at the perfect time, and I thought they would win this game, but I also thought they will lose the Wizards game, so now after this performance, I hope they do not, of course, but hey, maybe they will. But the best performance with so many great things to talk about. We have Trayce Jackson-DAVIS coming out, showing out on the national stage, finally getting the opportunity he should have been getting this whole season. Jonathan Kuminga closing out the game, playing 34 minutes, playing his best overall game in the NBA probably, because he was great defensively, he did a lot of good work offensively also, and of course Steph doing Stephen Curry things. And let's first talk about that. Steph masterclass. He put on an absolute show in the fourth quarter and overtime, where he did not go perfect, of course, but he was clutch as hell. 5 of 7 in the fourth, and in overtime he hit that moonshot, 2 of 4, and of course make those 2 free throws, which was just absolutely incredible. Like, I was on the edge of my seat here, jumping out my couch, man. I was so happy. This was the most Warriors feel, good feel game and Warriors feel game we've had this season, really, if I'm expressing myself correctly. It just finally felt like the Warriors, even though before they benched Loon in the third quarter, it was looking like more of the same. But let's talk about Steph first, right? He got into foul trouble. He had 5 fouls because they were putting him in the post, whether it was Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, or Jrue Holiday, and they were drawing cheap fouls kinda on him, and the Warriors did not adjust quickly enough, whether that was by zone, whether that was by double teaming, I don't know, but Steph in the fourth quarter played the whole fourth and overtime with 5 fouls. He even drew a charge and did not do his usual swipe fouls, and the team rallied really well around him, whether it was us playing that zone. It was a 2-3 zone, I'm pretty sure. Was it the 3-2 zone or 2? I don't know, actually. Shit, I should have wrote that down, but we played zone, which of course helped get Steph out of that post area, and we also played Chris Paul a lot, which helped, them hunt the smaller player on the court, which was Chris Paul at the end of the day. And they also overdid hunting Steph a little bit, which resulted in some bad shots, trying to draw fouls, and with, of course, Steph doing great offensively. We put the ball in his hands. We brought the big up to the screens and let Steph cook, man. Whether it was Horford or Klay at the start of the fourth quarter, we finally played those high pick and rolls for him and just, leave Steph on an island with those bigs. They had to adjust also to that. And that opened up spot for Klay, who hit 2 huge 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. Chris Paul was huge at the start of the fourth quarter. And it just finally looked right. It was so beautiful. And Steph is just one of the greatest to ever play the game, without a doubt.
Steph brings joy to the world. He's incredible.
Because, he's just a unicorn. You'll never seen anyone play like him and, win championships like him. That's what it means to me, right? At 6'3", 6'2", he's just one of a kind. Just like LeBron is, just like KD really is, just like Shaq was, just like MJ was, just like Kareem was, just like Magic was. And, he belongs with them. And, KD probably honestly doesn't belong in this convo in a way, because we look at the accolades and everything, but KD is also one of a kind, don't get me wrong. And just quick shout out to Klay before we get to, of course, Kuminga and Trayce Jackson-DAVIS. Klay, he looks all the way back here, 24, 4 and 4, 9 of 21. He did cool off in the overtime, unfortunately, but he took great shots all night, I felt like, and played well within the offense. And the biggest proof was the assist to Trayce Jackson-DAVIS in overtime, where he, of course, could have chucked a shot up, but he played within the offense, made the right pass, and Trayce Jackson-DAVIS rewarded him for it. So that makes me really happy for Klay. And now let's talk about the others, aka Kuminga and Trayce mostly. Podziemski got hurt and could not go in the second half, which was a shame because he was having a really good game also. But it appears that it's not going to be anything, not even major. He should be playing on Friday against the Wizards, from what we've heard. And Wiggins had to start in the place of him. I'm sorry for kind of rambling. I literally have a script, but I don't know if I don't want to make light of anything, right? But words just sometimes get mixed up in my mouth and in my head. And we started Wiggins, Kuminga, Steph, Klay, and Looney, which the Loon starting just did not make sense in this game. He was horrible in the first half. Trayce was great in the first half, and that was what had us down by as much as 17 in the third quarter. Looney was just not needed in this game, especially against Al Horford, who is stretching the floor. He can't jump with Jaylen Brown nor anyone else, really. And it opened up them attacking the rim so much, right? Jaylen Brown was on our asses the whole first half when Looney was out there attacking the rim. And that opened up the space for Derek White to shoot lights out. That opened up the space for Peyton Pritchard to make a huge impact. And then Trayce Jackson came in and he changed that, because with him out there, they were, they had to at least be aware of him in the paint and, fear him. And, the Celtics were forced to tougher shots, shoot more from the outside, aka the 3-point line, and boom, recipe for success. And let's talk about Kuminga, who played probably his best game all around in his career, because he was sensational on Jason Tatum, who shot 5 of 17 on the Democratic Republic of Kuminga Island, or I don't know, I'm not that funny. Anyway, that was just a joke on Wiggins Island, because that's where Tatum has been before against the Warriors, but today he was on that Kuminga Island. I'm just not that good at it, puns. And he did well within the offense offensively. He made some really good drives, made some really good reads, had 2 assists, 7 rebounds. That was his biggest value. Defensively and rebounding-wise, especially in the second half, he was locked in and did not let being underutilized, in my opinion, on offense affect him in any way. I thought we should have gone to him more in the first half, should have gone to him more at the start of the third quarter, where we got down by as much as 17, like I said. But, he kept going, he kept playing the right way, and he was rewarded for it. 17, 7, and 2 was sensational. And if he was able to average 17 and 7, he would be more than satisfied, right? 17 and 7 would be perfect for a Kuminga, especially with, really great defense on very efficient shooting, because he shot 8 of 13 today. And, just beautiful to, finally have him closing out not the whole fourth quarter, but, half of the fourth quarter and the overtime, and trusting him on the floor, which was great. He did overhelp once for Steph, but it was for Steph, which left Derek White open for a 3-pointer, but otherwise he was great rotation-wise. He played great team defense also, and individual, he played sensational defense, like I keep repeating. And super proud for Kuminga, man. Super happy and proud of Kuminga. And before we talk about Trayce, I want to talk about Moses Moody a little bit real quick, because, he's kind of in a weird spot. When you look at the rotations that I should have been showing a little bit more, but he just has such a weird spot out there, because we keep playing 2 point guards essentially all the time, right? Corey Joseph had to play with Chris Paul when Steph was in foul trouble. Steph and Chris Paul playing together. Steph and Podziemski usually. The only minutes we have played essentially without a secondary point guard or a ball handler was the start of the third quarter, which went horrible. And if that was Trayce in place of Looney, might have been different. I don't know, but that is the reason we've been going to it, because it pretty much opens up the defense more, and it has to keep the defense more honest. at the cost of us being a little more vulnerable defensively, in my opinion, size-wise, of course. And Moody is in such a weird spot because he could be getting some of the Chris Paul minutes, right? Could have been getting some of the Corey Joseph minutes, but he just does not, and he has to live with that for now. I don't know how to deal with that, honestly, because it's kind of been really working on the plus-minus side, not necessarily on the eye test side, but it is what it is. Hopefully Moses Moody gets his chances. And Trayce, man. Trayce, the man of the night. 5 of 7 from the field. 10 points, 13 rebounds, 3 blocks. Sensational all night long. Played 29 minutes, essentially. And, you know, that block he had on Jaylen Brown in overtime brought the house down, man. Probably the best atmosphere through the television I've seen from Chase Center since the finals. And he was so well, he did help out well at the rim. He protected the rim really well, affected a lot of shots. He can actually switch out a little bit, which helps. You know, Loon usually was able to do that. But like I said, whether he is out of shape or his body is giving up on him, which I hope it's just that he's a little bit out of shape. He is not able to do that, and Trayce provides that against most of these teams. When you're not playing against a Jokic, a Şengün, a Sabonis, those, how can I say it, heavy? Is it right? Like, power big man or bruiser big man, that should suit Looney more, but, I mean, there aren't many of them, right? It's Jokic, Şengün, Sabonis, maybe a Zubac. There's like 4 of these, maybe 5 in the whole league. And Trayce offers more versatility defensively. He's a better lob threat, vertical spacer, right? He can play the pick and roll so much better with Steph, Chris Paul. He can finish around the rim, even though it looks ugly as hell sometimes, but it goes in, so who cares? And, of course, he even can pass a little. He had 1 assist today, but it was a really good and impressive assist. And he had a really good passing tape in Indiana State, where he played in college. And it's just beautiful to he finally got his minutes. So, yeah, beautiful win, super feel-good win, probably the most electric game this season, the best game this season, really. And we had Steph Masterclass, Klay finding his stride and shot, Kuminga and Trayce announcing themselves on national TV, Steve Kerr actually making the adjustments that we needed. Even though they were a little bit late, the coaching staff still seems a little bit step too slow, but they made the adjustments, which is all that matters in the end. And we got a huge win over the best team in the NBA, or one of the best teams in the NBA. Now on a 3-game winning streak, we play the Wizards next, so we better not fuck this up. As always, love yourselves, be kind to yourselves and to others. And yeah, love and be, baby.